outdoor vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Explain to me again why we're sleeping on the ground.
Because we're thramping. Thrift camping. It's saving us money and getting us closer to nature.
But we don't need to thramp. I just combined our home and auto insurance with our State Farm agent, so we have a rate that fits our budget.
All right. Do you think our agent can bring us an air mattress?
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Kreekak, at 402-474-1173.
Individual premiums and budgets will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Fall is here, which means it's time to dive into a new lineup of autumn flavors at Wings and Rings, your home away from home during football season. Their all-star lineup of wing sauces is adding 2 new impact players, curry garlic and pumpkin chili. Need something delicious before kickoff? How about starting your meal with their brand new chorizo nachos and loaded fries? You better act fast. These new tastes of autumn won't be here long. So make the trip to one of their 2 Lincoln locations today on O Street or Village Lane.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. F Foundation Repair. We fix basements.
Coming at you live from the 93.7 The Ticket studio, from the heart of Lincoln, America. Expanding awareness about the TeamMates program and the ever-growing need for mentors. This is TeamMates Timeout with TeamMates CEO Des Moines Adams and Marketing and Communications Manager Ashton Honor.
Well, happy Tuesday, world. My name is Des Moines Adams, and thank you for joining Teammates Timeout with DeMo and Ash. As always, we have a very packed and exciting show today. Ash, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. I have to say, this show I am so excited about, especially with who our guest is. And then, so I have to tell everybody, like DeMo and I, we always lay out our shows, and we lay them out at a month at a time and figure out what our themes are, and we'll try to plug in different guests. But this one may top the one about teamwork and teammates.
Really?
I know, right?
Yes, because so far, give us a rundown again of, where we've come, the topics. And
yes. So we started out with Suzanne Osborne Hintz, who is the daughter of our co-founders, Dr. Tom, Coach Tom, and Nancy Osborne. Suzanne was here to talk about the mission. And then we had our vision and hope. And we had Coach
Ron Brown.
And then we did teamwork and teammates with Jay Foreman and Sadie Kahn.
Yep.
And then last week was Strength Space with Tori Pedersen, who's on our staff, which, by the way, she's a rock star. Like, I'm so thankful she's on our team.
Yes. And, after every show, for those of you that are following Teammates Mentoring, we always try to put a recap, but also follow like 93.7 The Ticket because they do a great job of like putting little glimpses of just when someone drops a gem. Tori Pedersen dropped a lot of gems. And
We
so,
couldn't keep up
yeah.
with that one last week. Speaking of, I'm retweeting that we're live now. And then this week, our topic is servant leadership.
Yes. Servant leadership.
But before we dive into that, you've got to tell me what you got going on with this blue today.
Oh, like my favorite emoji on my hat?
Yes.
Or is it the fact that I look like I'm a LA Dodgers?
Yes. So about that.
Okay. I just kind of woke up feeling blue and I found a blue hat to match my shirt. I mean, I know you're a Yankees fan.
Huge.
I do hear that the Dodgers are up 3-0 and they just whooped the Yankees at home. So
check on your Yankees fans. We are unwell. One more game. Well, let's back up. It better not be one more game. Let's try that again. We've got to win the next 4. Yeah. Have the faith.
So what you're saying is this blue looks good on me today?
Respect.
Hey, that's the sign of a teammate right there. That is the sign. You understand sports when at the end of the day it's respect. And so I do have respect for the Dodgers right now.
Yeah.
I also have respect for the Yankees. I do believe that they are going to win this next game at home. They have to, right?
They have to, or it's over.
Yes. Yes.
No sweeps up in here.
And then also, shout out to what the volleyball team is doing.
Ooh, volleyball's crushing it.
Yes.
They are at Wisconsin and Northwestern this weekend.
And then the Huskers, I don't even need to cross my fingers. We are going to get that 6th win on Saturday. Husker fans, we're getting ready to go to a bowl game again. I don't know where it's going to be, but we're getting ready to go to a bowl game.
DeMo, everybody wants to know what your prediction is going to be for that game this weekend.
We're going to win by 2 touchdowns.
Okay. You heard it here. You heard it here first, folks.
Yes. 2 touchdowns. The defense, they're going to do their part. And Dylan, as always, he's going to have a heck of a game. The wide receivers are going to show up. But I feel that the running backs are going to show up.
Okay.
Running backs. Like
plural.
Both running backs are going to come in and they're going to put on a performance.
All right. Well, we'll check back in next week.
All right.
Well, what do you say we dive in?
Yeah.
Let's talk about servant leadership, our theme today.
Now,
okay. So as we know, I've only been with Teammates for I'm going into month 3. As I always say, it feels like I've been there forever, which is a huge compliment because it just speaks to who we are as an organization, but still fairly new, still doing my homework, getting to know you. I hear that you are diving into maybe putting a pause on, but going to continue your PhD in leadership. And you have some quotes that I would love for you to expand on.
Yes, I dove into my PhD a little bit over 14 or so years ago. And then something happened, Ashton. I married a Nebraska woman. And we had kids. Now I'm stuck in Nebraska.
Stuck. He does not mean that in a negative manner, folks. He is happy to be here.
But the priorities, of course, went from doing research papers to, watching SpongeBob and Peppa Pig and all of that stuff. But it is still on the to-do list. But leadership is something that is near and dear to my heart. To have a program that's dedicated to teaching students about leadership. And for us to talk about servant leadership, when someone asks, what is leadership? There's so many theories and models, but, just real brief. Servant leadership is about simply using one's role to be a role model. It's all about leading by example, period.
Love it. Now, let's dive into that first quote that I want you to expand on. And like I said, folks, there are 4 of them that we're going to talk about. First one. Leadership is not a noun, it is a verb.
I think the misperception of leadership, once you get, to a certain level, whether your title or maybe your characteristics, but I feel that servant leadership is about action. It's like, what do you do with that role? It's about what you're doing just thinking of leader and ship.
Mhm.
You know, English was my favorite subject. So leadership, you know, there's action that has to back up, you know, just leadership. There's motion, there's movement, there's influence, there's influencing. Leadership, I would say, is closely tied to relationships.
Okay.
And I think without relationships, there really isn't leadership because there are leaders and there are followers.
Mhm.
Now, I'm a big fan, like Maxwell says, leaders don't create followers, leaders create leaders.
Mhm.
But to be a leader, you have to be a follower.
Mhm.
So there is this relationship between leadership and relationship, but there has to be action that takes place with servant leadership.
I love that. With that, that kind of helps us roll into the second one. Leadership is about one word, influence. Talk
Mm.
to us about that.
That just makes me smile because leadership is about influence. It's how we make others feel, the impact. What are we encouraging others to become or do? You know, I would say my style of leadership is simply about developing others to be the best that they can be. Our mission is about helping students reach their full potential through mentoring.
Mhm.
I feel like my role as a leader in this leadership role is to help staff reach their full potential through coaching. I don't consider myself a boss. I consider myself a coach because what do coaches do? They influence the best out of their players. And so we all have influence, and not just the CEO, but every individual who has a role. Think of our social media.
Mhm.
Anyone that has an Instagram page or Twitter or whatnot, they have influence, whether they like it or not.
Right.
But how are they influencing people? Positively or negatively? And so it's about the influence. Anyone can influence others, but when you do it the right way and there's a positive impact, that's leadership.
Tell the listeners what you are having us as managers read. I was super excited about this the other day that he gave me this book, and in college, it kind of took me back to college because I'm like, and I had to ask DeMo today, I'm like, am I allowed to write in this book? Like,
Absolutely. So as a strengths-based organization, you know, we make an investment in a lot of Gallup resources. And so right now, all of our managers have a book called "It's the Manager" by Jim Clifton, and it really dives into making that transition from this boss mindset to having a coach mindset.
and I'm so excited.
Yeah, because you know, leadership is also like a muscle.
Yes,
And
that is a great analogy.
yeah, like the more you use it, the more you stretch it, the more you exercise it, it gets bigger, it gets better, it gets stronger. And no matter how long you've been in leadership, I'm a big believer that once you stop learning, you stop leading.
Mhm.
So leadership is definitely a muscle, and I believe in exercising that muscle. So I'm excited for our other leaders, our other coaches, who we call managers, to really tap into their leadership.
And I feel like we have a really good group of managers right now. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what everybody takes away from this book. And then we will collaborate as a management team to talk all of those different themes in the book. So I am very much looking forward to that.
Yes, because even though I'm not working on my PhD in leadership right now, I feel like I'm still using
You're
pieces of
teaching.
yes, and so I think it is important for all of us, not just the managers, but for everyone, even the listeners today, to understand what I've learned about leadership. And here's something that I want to ask you.
Okay.
You know, in terms of the bullet points, you know, that we're talking about today, give me your thoughts when I say leadership is not a title, it's a role and it's a responsibility. Leadership is not a title, it's a role and a responsibility.
I'm going to go back to our athlete days and our athlete mindset and kind of again, and I'm also a coach's kid. So I feel like I have a lot of different perspectives coming in action with this. So, side note, that was your third bullet point that we're talking about. So, uh, yeah, hold on. Demo said, again, we're going to reiterate that bullet point number 3 is leadership is not a title, it is a role and a responsibility. So I'm going to take that. I feel like the sports world, which I'm so thankful with our organization, it's so easy to implement our experiences, our athletic experiences, and what we're
Yeah.
doing here now. So leadership is not a title, it is a role and responsibility. As a manager, as a coach, it is my job to ensure that my team is set up for success. I need to give them the tools to be successful. I'm not going to let them fail. I'm going to
Mhm.
let them learn, but I'm not going to let them fail.
Mm.
I'm going to empower them to grow, not only professionally, but also personally. Again, that's just going to make everyone just a better team and better people at the end of the day. But again, it's a privilege to have that leadership. Again, we say it's not a title, it's a role. It's a privilege to have that leadership role and that responsibility because it does come with a lot of responsibility. And, not everyone is suited for a specific leadership role. And I'm not saying that to be negative anyway. It's just kind of reality. Not everyone is, it's not in their DNA to be a leader.
Yeah.
Whereas some of us, as we kind of call them, like role players, like that's kind of like what the management team are. Like those individuals, if you were to break down our management team, like they take that leadership role very seriously.
Yeah. Which, even working for teammates, I'm always humbled when anyone applies for a position and when they choose to work for this incredible nonprofit
Yes.
because the the atmosphere that I feel like we've created is really about being teammates, is about teamwork.
Hmm.
And the servant leadership that we provide our mentors, we set them up for success.
Correct.
We train them and we position them to be servant leaders so that they can influence their mentee in a positive way.
Right.
They know that by showing up every day to listen, there's that action with their servant leadership. But then also, no matter what their background is, no matter what their age, no matter what their personality type is, um, that role and that responsibility they take on when they sign up to be a teammate's mentor, I feel like anyone can do it.
Absolutely. And it's just a 2-hour training.
Yeah.
So to go back to that process, if you are interested in becoming a teammates mentor, go to teammates.org. Right up there at the top, click the button that says become a mentor. All you simply have to do is fill out that application form and just ask you different questions about yourself. And then shout out to Angie and Michelle and our training services team who go through each of those applications and they do contact their references. You have to put down at least 3 references, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure I'll get a text from Michelle telling me, no, that was wrong. Maybe it's like 5. And then once you get through that next phase of the process, then there is training. It's a max of like a 2-hour training. Again, we're not just going to throw you right in the fire. We're going to give you as the mentor tools to be successful with your mentee. And then we are going to pair you with a phenomenal child who you guys have similar interests with, and then just kind of let that relationship happen organically. And again, we meet once a week, 30 to 45 minutes. It's in school. It's a school-based mentoring program. And so I have to say, I'm putting together our annual report right now. And so I have the opportunity to go through a lot of the quotes that I might throw in from mentors and mentees and just seeing the positivity just like flow out. And again, the word hope keeps
Yes.
popping up with not only the mentors, but also the mentees. So we're doing something right.
There is, and we have so much data to back it up. We've been around for 33 years, and not just the stories that tug away our heartstrings, but the data that helps you to make that decision to use your role to be a positive role model. That's all we're asking. And going to the 4th bullet point, I believe that everyone has leadership, but the difference is how you use it.
Mhm.
So if you go back to that muscle analogy,
Yep.
everyone has muscle, but it's what you do with it that determines the impact. So if you correlate that with the leadership piece, tell the audience what that means to you. Everyone has leadership. So as we're inspiring those to become a mentor, everyone has leadership, but the difference is how you use it.
And I feel like we have vocal leaders and silent leaders.
Mhm.
Yes, vocal leaders and silent leaders. So my best analogy with those vocal leaders is like your captains on the team. I was not a captain on the basketball team, but I was one of the vocal leaders. Like you were going to hear me on that bench hyping up my team.
Mhm.
The silent leaders, you better watch out for those leaders because sometimes they're the most dangerous. Like they lead by action, they lead
Mhm.
by doing. not necessarily lead by vocals again, and that's easy to pick up on too. Like people are constantly watching, especially in the sports world and the fine arts world, like who are the big names? How do they carry themselves? How do they handle themselves? And sometimes those silent leaders lead with their actions, and it's very easy to see when they command that field, when they command that court. Again, you hear about your vocal leaders, but those silent leaders are the ones you got to watch out for.
You look like you were a vocal leader when you were on the court.
That is correct.
Now, what about me?
You strike me as a silent leader because you are an introvert. I am
Yes.
extroverted.
I was a silent leader on the other side of the line. You had Chris Kelsey.
Yep.
He was very vocal. You had Kyle Vandenbosch. He was very vocal. But, I led by example.
Right.
And so I didn't realize I had leadership because I thought you had to be vocal. You had to dance and pump and do your arms like this when you made a tackle. But when someone helped me realize those 4 bullet points, that leadership is not a noun, it's a verb.
Right.
That leadership is about one word, influence. It's not about your title. It's about your role and responsibility. And everyone has it. Difference is how you use it. That is when I discovered I had leadership.
And that helped you find your role on that team.
It did. Yes. And realizing when you are a part of one team, everyone's leadership all goes toward one goal, one mission. And I think that's what we do in a beautiful way with TeamMates Mentor, is that we have a team of over 9,600 mentors from all different backgrounds, different ages, different personalities, different skills and talents, but yet they're all servant leaders.
Across 5 states.
Across 5 states. And we still need more mentors because we still have students that want to mentor, to be a part of this team that is all about leadership, but they can't be on this incredible team because we don't have enough mentors. And so again, our need is definitely 3rd through 5th. The longer the match, the stronger the match. And we hope that you continue to hear our call to action. We need more volunteers to use their leadership. We know you have a role. Use that role to be a positive role model. After the break, we're going to have our special guest to dive in more on this servant leadership and what it means to be a servant leader in your community. So don't go anywhere. Teammates Timeout with DeMo and Ash.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through October 29th is $1 off per pound on New York strips. Spend $50 and get a free brick of ground beef and 25% off on tea. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Highway 2 in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
This is State Senator Carolyn Bosden. Public safety is important in our community. I have a proven record of protecting public safety. I have prosecuted perpetrators of domestic violence, advocated for the rights of child abuse victims, held sexual predators accountable, and fought to keep drug traffickers off our streets. This is Senator Carolyn Bosden, and I will continue to fight to keep our community safe. Vote Carolyn Bosden on November 5th. Paid for by Bosden for Legislature.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy and safe Halloween. With all the parents and kids out and about, they encourage drivers to be careful and respectful of trick-or-treaters. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. F Foundation Repair. We fix basements.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. 93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see partly sunny skies, and it will be windy and warm with the high around 83. Tonight, a chance of showers and thunderstorms. It'll be windy, too, the low around 53. And tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms are likely throughout the day, the high around 61. I'm meteorologist Kyle Becker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This October, the Bonsall Spooktacular 10 event is back with spooktacular savings all month long. Stop by any time in October to discover incredible deals, including hot tubs as low as $5,995. That's up to 20% off MSRP. Plus, enjoy 10% off infrared and traditional saunas. Don't miss out on these hauntingly good offers. Visit Bonsall Pool and Spa today. Bonsall Pool and Spa, every day made better at 33rd and Pioneers.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Back to Teammates Timeout with DeMo and Ash on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Teammates Timeout with DeMo and Ash on 93.7 The Ticket. We have a very special guest joining us today, Mr. Aaron Davis. Welcome.
It is good to be back in the studio, I would say. I would just share with you guys and Austin and DeMo, of course, that always start our show in the mornings. But yeah, it's good to be back. I appreciate y'all. It's an honor to be here.
Well, thank you so much for being here. When DeMo told me he snagged you for tonight, I was super excited because we're on the topic of servant leadership, and we know you have a lot to give us.
Well, I really didn't have a choice to be here tonight. Des Moines called me yesterday with that voice, that deep voice. Hey, what you doing tomorrow? When they say what you doing, they don't say what's going on. It's like when somebody, I was like, I hope he didn't ask me to move or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? What you doing tomorrow? You in town? And so, yeah, when DeMo and yourself, and of course, anything that our relationship, me and DeMo go back a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, if I'm here, especially for the organization of Teammates, it's a no-brainer. Absolutely. So it's an honor.
So that's similar verbiage that Jay Foreman gave us a couple weeks ago. You guys literally drop everything for your teammates.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep. And that's the culture that we're trying to create with
Yes.
Teammates Mentoring. That's the culture that we want to create across our 5 states. When you join the team and become a mentor, we support you along the way. You become a part of, we're talking over 49,000 mentors that have served 49,000 students, currently serving 9,600. But we need more mentors, AD. We need more mentors.
Recruiting, it's an all-year thing. I'll never forget when Coach Osborne when we won the '94 championship. He didn't stay down in the lobby very long. He was already, obviously with his family, etc.
Mhm.
And Suze could probably confirm this, but those guys were already getting ready to go. Who's going where? Now, Coach Osborne came back to the team, but a lot of those other coaches, man, they were on the road. I mean, you just won a championship. If they were on the road, they were calling. This before all the technology we have available to us today.
Yeah.
So those guys, it was in home, face to face. They were already thinking about it. So, and you guys are in a space to where you can never get content,
Mhm.
or get comfortable, because you constantly have to be going out there to seek new recruits to help with the students that are still looking for a mentor. So it's something that's ongoing.
AD, why don't you share more about your servant leadership through each avenue of your life? You're a motivational speaker, you're a former athlete. Have you coached before? I'm assuming you have.
Well, I coached the boys in midget football when they were little. Coach, kind of like Austin Orman. I was in my mind. I was the John Thompson of small fry basketball when I used to coach the kids. But even in that, just growing up, first of all, I had the epitome of servant leadership in my dad, who Des Moines knows well. My father, it'll be 3 years next month. My father's been gone, but he was the epitome of servant leadership. He was all about others more than himself.
Mhm.
He was about his community more than himself. More importantly, he's more about his faith than anything else. But his community, his family, it was just about serving others. What can I do to help others out?
Mhm.
And it was never about himself.
Right.
It was always about other people. So I had a great example at home with my father. So any mistakes I've made, I can't say I learned at home. I see the epitome of servant leadership. And then Coach, having the blessing of having Coach Osborne as a coach, I seen it in Coach Osborne as well. Coach Brown, I can go on and on, but I seen it there first with my dad. And then just far as it goes is, in my own business as a family man, as a father, as a husband, trying to duplicate those things I seen in Coach Osborne and in my dad, as far as servant leadership, always giving more to others than you do for yourself. What can I do for other people? And mentoring is huge about that. We're in a day and age today. We're in a very polarizing time frame today where we're at as a society. The landscape is very selfish. And so a guy and a man like Coach Osborne and Miss Osborne, those characteristics are needed now more than ever.
Yeah.
And that's why it's needed in teammates to show this next generation that it is cool to be about others.
Right.
It is cool to be selfless. It is cool to see how can I go serve as many people as I can rather than how many people can serve me. So Coach Osborne and DeMo, you taking the torch over that, and Ash and you being on the team as well. You two are the beacons that are helping continue that flame going on to be epitomes of servant leadership.
And, that's something that, Ash and I were really working hard is to sustain that legacy that Nancy and Tom Osborne started. But just even going back to 1991, you being a former player, and still to this day, you still call Coach Osborne Coach. Tell us, the role that Coach Osborne played in developing your servant leadership today.
Coach, the thing about it, I took a few notes earlier today, but there's a few characteristics that I think are important when you talk about servant leadership. One is focus on serving others. That's the first thing, focus on serving others. The second part is active listening. And I'll give a quick example. The third one is empowerment. The fourth is humility. Coach Osborne embodies these, focusing on others, serving others, active listening, empowerment, humility. He was constantly figuring, regardless if you were a bench warmer scout team guy like me, AD, what can we do to get you better out there today in these reps? He was always focusing on us. And so he was always focusing on serving us. But also the next thing Coach Osborne, Des you know this, and Ashton, you know this, he was a painstakingly good leader. I mean, to the point you would ask him a question, he just he looks, he's thinking, he's listening not to respond. He's always listening to understand.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a major difference. Some people are like Mario Andretti when they're listening to they didn't even hear what you said. They're just waiting to respond. Didn't even process what you said. Coach Osborne listens and he processes to figure the best way to respond. And if he doesn't have the answer, he goes, you know what? I'll get back to you on that. At halftime, Coach Osborne would always get all the coaches in the locker room. He might have done the same time you did as well.
Mm-hmm.
And before he addressed us, he would listen to Coach Solich. He would listen to Coach Brown. He would listen to Coach McBride, Coach Tennifer, Coach Gill, and he'd be on that chalkboard and he would just be listening to each one of them. Just listening, get your opinion. And he was listening to understand. And then you'd see him go to the chalkboard. And they would ask you, what did you see out there? And he would listen. So he would listen to understand rather than just to respond. Those are things that I've tried to learn, because my dad was the same way. My buddies would come to the house and they'd be like, they'd be ready to go out. DeMo, my dad being a pastor, old school pastor. You just didn't throw something on him real quick. My buddies would come over. I'd be like, Dad, we're going to go out for a little bit. Is that okay? Pause. I mean, forever. Let me think about that. He just, whether it was that or he was asking for advice. The more when I first got involved in keynote speaking, when I was going to leave my, the university, I said, Pops, this is my plan. What do you think? He goes, you know what, son? Let me do some thinking about it. I'll get back to you. And he goes, how soon do you need an answer?
Oh, wow.
How soon do you need an answer? He goes, let me think about it. We're in such a microwave swipe right reels that aren't real society. People don't think about things like that anymore. Coach Osborne and servant leaders don't allow snap decisions because they understand the long-term impacts of those decisions. Servant leaders always look about the long-term impact of decisions they make. And Coach Osborne and my dad, they were the epitomes of that. Then when you talk about, the next one out here, as far as empowering others, there's a reason why you look at it. Coach Kevin Steele, that was a coach in Nebraska, linebackers coach that was here. Coach Tony Samuel, those are the coaches stand the most in my mind. They went on to coach other places. Well, Coach Solich, they just had a statue put of the man at the University of Ohio. Regardless of how he left here, Coach Osborne empowered him to go do those things, along with Coach Samuel and other coaches to do that. Now, flipping on the other side, Coach Osborne had very little staff turnover because he empowered his coaches. So it goes both ways. He empowered them so they stayed, but he empowered them enough to where they could understand I could go someplace else and hopefully become a head coach myself. That was his ultimate goal. In the humility part, I don't know, besides my dad, and obviously I'm biased because of my dad, I've never met a more humble man than Coach Osborne. It's never about him. It's never about him. It's always about someone else. And we've seen that displayed over and over again. So when you see how much, what was it, 22 hands or 23 hands that raised that first time?
22
hands that were raised up. But Coach Osborne brought it out there. And a lot of those guys raised their hands because it was Coach Osborne. If that would have just been somebody else, say, hey, anybody come volunteer? Brothers would have sitting back like, nah, man, I ain't gonna mess with them kids, man. I ain't going out there. But because Coach Osborne asked that, they did. Why? Influence. That's the epitome of servant leadership. It's influence. Coach Osborne had so much of an influence over us in a positive way that we wouldn't have maybe done it for, I can probably guarantee we probably wouldn't have done it for anybody else.
Yeah.
Or maybe not as many, but because of who Coach Osborne is and his track record of displaying servant leadership, it was a no-brainer for a lot of guys. So he displayed all those characteristics to where here I am at 50 years old. I've known Coach Osborne literally since I was 10 because one of my older brothers was an equipment manager for the team. Coach Osborne is the same as he was 40 years ago when I first met him. The most consistent man I know, besides my dad. The most consistent man I know. And that's what you guys need, is consistency. These kids that you're going out to serve, they need consistency because sometimes that person they see once a week, that's the most consistent appointment they have besides maybe their teachers.
Correct.
That might be the most consistent thing. And there's no such thing, and regardless of socioeconomics, there is no such thing as a family that's not dysfunctional. All families are dysfunctional in some shape or form.
Yeah.
But a lot of those kids, when those mentors go to see those mentees, their eyes light up. Because they know no matter what we're going on at home in the classroom, how they did in a grade or whatever, they're going to see that mentor from TeamMates, which is huge.
You use some words that have come up in some of our previous shows, like listening, understanding. I can't help but to think about Stephen Covey, seek first to understand, then to be understood.
Right.
So as we talk about servant leadership, and you shared, some great examples from your former coach, but also your father. But then also you did a great job of turning that corner and making that connection to becoming a mentor. Would you share a little bit more about that connection between leadership and mentorship?
Yeah, I think those things sometimes they're synonymous, but I think mentorship is more to where leadership, you have a lot of people you're over.
Mhm.
I mean, a lot of people at times. Coach Osborne, people forget he was not only the head coach, he was the offensive coordinator as well as the assistant athletic director. So he was the leader. The leadership is, I think, a broader approach, and it's more something that's on more of a global scale, wherever your global may be, whether it's a company, a house, a lemonade stand, regardless. Mentoring to me is really rolling your hands up and just simply saying it's going to be more one-on-one time to where I'm gonna speak and breathe into your life in a more intimate way, if you would, because it's more it's not as broad.
Yeah.
It's I'm working with you one-on-one, one-on-five, one-on-four. Leadership is more, to me, in my personal opinion, it's more of a global thing, to where mentorship is like I'm taking you one-on-one and I'm going to work with you. I'm going to speak into you. I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to help develop you. So it's more of more of an intimate relationship, if you would, and teaching skills and characteristics, and more importantly, just being there for that person.
Yeah.
And I see mentorship being more available
Mhm.
than leadership, if you would.
Mhm.
And one's not better than the other, but when you want to really dig deep and get to know someone, mentorship, I think you have a better approach to doing that, which you guys and gals do at Teammates.
And then especially, just with your definition on servant leadership, it's about putting that other person first.
Absolutely.
And then I think for those that are listening, I think you did a great job of somewhat bringing down the anxiety of being a mentor, knowing that everyone has leadership.
Everyone does.
But this leadership as it relates to mentorship is really about that one-on-one relationship
Right.
with a young person.
Absolutely.
AD, you are all about the people. I mean, what I see you doing here in the local community, what I see you doing nationwide, you're all about the people. But you're also all about the young people.
Yes.
And so, when you hear about what we're trying to do for our young people is to give them those servant leaders that we call teammates, mentors. Tell the audience that are listening more about how they can be able to use their role to be a role model. They don't have to be like you. They don't have to be like me. They don't have to be like Ash, but help them to understand how they can use their role to be a role model for the people.
Dewan, it's a great question. The reality is kids today are facing unprecedented amount of stress with you bring in social media.
Mhm.
You have Instagram, you have TikTok, you have Snapchat, you have Facebook, and go on and on. You have games that look more real than reality, if you would. There's all these, and there's reels to where they're comparing themselves all the time to other people, lifestyles, etc. And it's not real. They're stressing for real. They're stressing for connection. They're longing for connection right now, more than ever. And all of you, regardless of what your role or title is, my father would say, everybody has a pulpit. All of us do. All of our pulpits are different. Some are in churches, some are in schools, some are in radio stations, some are as cops. We can go on and on and on. Everyone has something to offer someone. Everyone has something to offer someone. And sometimes we figure, well, what have I done to offer someone? You're still here. And if you are still here, that means you've overcome everything that's come against you so far. Doesn't mean there's not scars and scratches and things of that nature, but you've overcome every challenge you've dealt with so far in your life. That's information, that's wisdom, that's knowledge. More importantly, that's time and attention and care you can share with a young person. So oftentimes we figure, what do I have to offer? A lot. Sometimes you can see that teenager sitting across from like, what can I possibly share with this kid? All the lessons you learned growing up as well.
Wow. And when we get back, I'm definitely going to have Ash to share this display of this logo and what this logo means. AD, I want you to be able to tell everybody when we get back for the third segment, when you see this logo that's displayed, and Ash is going to talk about where everyone can see it, how they can join the team, be a mentor by going to teammates.org today. Hold tight. Don't go anywhere. You are live with Teammates Timeout with DeMo and Ash.
Empower a child today with the TeamMates mentoring program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the TeamMates mentoring program today.
Are you or someone you love struggling with substance use? The Bridge Behavioral Health in Lincoln offers outpatient therapy for those 19 and over. The Bridge is conveniently located in the South Haymarket and near city bus lines. With payment options through insurance and a sliding fee scale, services are available for any adult 19 and over seeking help. Call 402-477-3951 to learn more or schedule your appointment today. The Bridge Behavioral Health is a local substance use treatment facility offering hope and a solid foundation for recovery through substance use treatment and behavioral health interventions.
Hi, I'm State Senator Bo Ballard. I was born and raised right here in Lancaster County. I understand the value of hard work by being involved in our family business. I built my own company, creating jobs right here in our community. Nebraska families and business owners need lower taxes, more affordable health care, and a great education system. That is why I fought for the largest tax cut in Nebraska history, reduce the cost of healthcare, and help pass the biggest investment in our public schools. I'm Senator Bo Ballard, and I humbly ask for your vote on November 5th, paid for by Ballard for Nebraska.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring a friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, this deal ends soon.
See Home Club for details.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals, located in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations, now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting book. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Back to Teammates Timeout with DeMo and Ash on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Teammates Timeout on 93.7 The Ticket with DeMo and Ash. Right before we went to break, DeMo, we're going to talk about that logo and what it means to us and where you're going to be able to see us all over the state. Find you. Western Nebraska, I got you covered, so don't worry. So right now we have this awesome opportunity which affords us the ability to be in a lot of different venues. And so currently, if you go to Husker Volleyball, Husker Football, obviously you're going to see that Teammates logo go. We've got that everywhere in there, which is awesome. And as it should be with Coach and Nancy having that huge tie to the University of Nebraska. But then also, super excited, we have other opportunities with Nebraska Wesleyan University, Hastings College, Chadron State. We're going to get a deal going with them. So Western Nebraska, I've got you covered. And then UNK, UNO. But again, just great opportunities for us as an organization. Not only is it brand awareness, but again, our biggest push is join the team, be a mentor.
I like that.
Not only will you find that on social media in those different avenues, but go to teammates.org. You're going to learn all that information and more about how you become a mentor, and then also how you donate. 2 calls to action. Become a mentor. If you have those resources, we would love for you to donate. So all that information, again, is on teammates.org. And like I said, you're going to be seeing that Teammates logo all over the place this year. So we're very excited at that opportunity. But AD, we've kind of one more question we want you to end us with. Tell the audience how you can demonstrate, how they can demonstrate their servant leadership as a Teammates mentor. Earlier in the show, DeMo and I talked about the 4 quotes of leadership. So leadership is not a noun, it is a verb. Leadership is about one word, and that is influence. Leadership is not a title, it is a role and a responsibility. And everyone has leadership. The difference is how you use it. Pick one of those and expand on it for us.
Say those again real quick.
Absolutely. Leadership is not a noun, it is a verb. Leadership is about one word, and that one word is influence. Leadership is not a title, it is a role and responsibility. And then finally, everyone has leadership. The difference is how you use it.
All of those are spot on. I love the part about influence, though, because we're all, and I bring it back to social media and our 24-hour news cycle we have right now. Everyone's being influenced by something. And unfortunately, a lot of kids these days are not being influenced by the right things because of these gadgets we have in our hands that are available to us all the time. I'm just as guilty as anybody else. Kids are starving for positive influence right now. They're starving for it. They don't always want it because it's like this. We don't always want it. I'm sorry, at the time, but deep, we want it so bad. There's times like, man, I don't know but we crave it. We crave influence. That's why you see kids that go the wrong way, because they're influenced by someone, because that shows they're wanted by somebody. That shows that somebody actually took the time for them. So that influence part, I can't say enough about that. If you take the time to influence one kid, and Ashley mentioned those investments, I love the word investments, because when you think about investment, that's a financial tool. That means there's going to be return on that investment. Perfect example. And you have on your webpage, and folks, go to the website, teammates.org, teammates,
you got it.
Teammates.org. Look at that. There's all sorts of stories, the returns on the investment from 1 hour a week. Jarrell Roach was my mentee 20 plus years ago. He served in the armed forces, been overseas a number of times, served as clergy. You keep up with Jarrell. You saw the things Jarrell Roach is doing right now. He does keynote speaking all over the country. He's a comedian as well. And the amount of lives he's influencing are awesome. And he'll send me a text, give me a call. AD, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. It was 1 hour a week. Now I'm seeing all the lives that he's impacted.
Ripple effect.
The ripple effect. That ripple effect, folks. And to think about it, that's the beauty of an investment, whether it's in time, resources, Trevor's. And you all have, first of all, when we say we don't have time. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. It's what we make a priority.
Right.
Because if someone says, hey, man, AD, I got 18 holes we can play Landman Golf Course on Friday, I'm going to figure out a way to go play Landman Golf Course on Friday. Doesn't mean I always be able to do it, but I'm simply saying things that are important, we find the time to do it.
Right.
When Coach Osborne was doing this, I can't tell anybody is busier than that man, but he still found an hour because it was important to him. So those kids, they want that influence. And you can give them that influence. And that ripple effect, like you just said, Ashley, folks, you have no idea. You're talking about, everybody wants to leave a legacy in some shape or form, whether they admit it or not. You can leave a legacy by spending 1 hour with a young man or a young woman that simply wants to know they matter. And when I see that Teammates logo, for me, I see Jarrell Roach all over the country, literally in his military career, in his speaking career, in his ministry, and his influence. Because of that logo, thousands and thousands and thousands of lives have been changed. Literally thousands.
We see that logo, we see hope.
You see hope. You see hope. Every time I see him somewhere, I'm like, that dude's changing the world. And he'll come back because of 1 hour. No, because of me, it's because of the influence that Coach Osborne had in 1991, where 22 hands raised up. And now you look at what 22 did. It was literally a positive epidemic that just traveled across the globe. First it was across the city. Then it was across a few counties. Then it was across the state. Now others, you guys, what, 6 states now? 5 states, soon to be 6. We're going to get another one in. We're recruiting. 5 states because 22 hands said yes. Thousands of others are saying yes as well.
So, Aaron, when you hear me say we have around 500, at least 500 that I know that have said, I want a mentor across all 5 states, but we don't have enough mentors. How does that make you feel being a former mentor?
It's first of all, I'll say this. It's exciting to know that your logo is that powerful, that kids actually are saying yes. Because if they don't recognize the logo, they don't know what the good that you're doing. It's like, nah, I ain't being a part of that. It shows that your team is doing amazing things to want to be a part of it. The flip side of it, it breaks my heart in that there's kids literally crying out, I want someone to spend time with me. I want someone to influence me. I want someone to invest in me. I want someone to make me think that I'm worth an hour, 60 minutes of their time. Not 60 minutes a week. That's all you're asking for them. 60 minutes a week. Would you give me 60 minutes?
Wow.
60 minutes that can ripple and affect 60 plus years down the road. DeMo, I'm going to put it back on DeMo, Ash, and I know he doesn't do this, and Ash, you don't do this. You think about all the lives you influenced through your former job. All those young athletes that came in there could not wait to have time with Ash. The amount of time you pushed in and you breathed into them through your own ups and downs and through a lot of people. I'm not going to share your story, but through your story, the number of people you've impacted because of that. DeMo, you think about when you take that Lifter of the Year trophy around the country, and I see those kids beaming because they're seeing it. They're never going to forget that. I was on an airplane 2 or 3 years ago. There was a lady working for the airlines who goes, I remember you came and spoke at our school. She was a flight attendant.
Oh, nice.
Now, I was like, that is awesome. And also like, man, I'm getting old as a mom, But she goes, I remember what you said. So, DeMo, you both have that same influence. And all they want is to know that I matter enough for you to invest 60 minutes a week.
And, that's the servant leadership that Coach Osborne has passed down with his wife, Nancy, through the Teammates Mentoring Program. And as he always say, the best things in life are not things. The best things in life are people. Aaron Davis, you are one of those people that are making a difference in the lives of other people, particularly young people. Thank you for being a special guest on our show and for helping us to make that call to action. We need more people to be servant leaders for our young people. Ash, you want to close it out?
All right, you guys know what to do. Go to teammates.org for more information. Become a mentor, donate. We are back here next week on 93.7 The Ticket with DeMo and Ash.
Empower a child today with the TeamMates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the TeamMates Mentoring Program today.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through October 29th is $1 off per pound on New York strips. Spend $50 and get